One of the most important aspects of the current agitation in India is the massive student and youth movements that is taking place in every part of the country. The youngsters in the country are coming into the streets protesting against the recent legislations regarding Citizenship Amendment Act and the move for enforcing a nationwide citizens register. Youngsters are in the forefront of the agitation, opposing these two very drastic legislations on the part of the government of India. And look at the way the police, look at the way the armed forces have been handling this agitation. Wherever the youngsters are coming out into the streets, police is using brutal force against them. Look at what was happening in Jamia Millia Islamia in the other day. Young girls were being beaten up. Young boys were being beaten up. And the force that was being used by the police was extremely excessive. And this has happened not only in the Jamia Millia Islamia but in various other universities also, Aligarh Muslim University and various other universities. Now students of the JNU are coming into the streets, students of Delhi University are coming into the streets, students from various other universities all over the country are coming into the street protesting against the kind of police brutalities on the youngsters in Delhi and other parts of the country. So while we are really concerned about the kind of attacks being unleashed on the youngsters in the country, we have to ask one question. Why this government is so opposed to the student agitations? Why the government of India is unable to withstand the struggles being conducted by the youngsters, students, youths and other people in this country? This is unprecedented because in every part of the world, even in India in the last 70 years, no government has taken this kind of a ruthless approach to the younger people's agitations. Youngsters are always volatile. Youngsters will agitate. Youngsters will protest because they are the agents of change. They are the agents of revolution. They are the hope for tomorrow. And that is why they are always impatient for change. They want change. So naturally every government, every society actually accept that kind of urge in the youngsters for bringing change into the society. That's history. Look at the French student movement in the 1968. Youngsters came into the street and the world actually applauded it. Youngsters came into the street and every philosopher, every politician said that they should do that. And their agitation in the French streets, Paris streets, actually spread all over the world and actually really changed the modern world in the 1968 agitations. But in India, when the youngsters are coming into the streets demanding change, demanding a complete transformation of Indian society, this government is trying to stop them. This government is trying to destroy them. Why? This question has been recently asked by a very famous scholar from Cambridge University, Dr. Ananya Vajpayee, who wrote an article about it in the Hindu the other day. She has made a very fascinating analysis about it, and her conclusion is that basically this particular government in India run by a Sangh Paripar outfit, BJP, is afraid of the youngsters because the youngsters are the agents of change which they really do not want to happen in this country. The ideology of the Sangh Paripar, the ideology of BJP is based on a very old understanding about India that is coming from Manusmriti, that is coming from the division of society on the basis of caste. And this caste system, this caste ideology prefers that majority of the Indian people shall not have any education. They do not want people to be educated. They have said that only the Brahmin caste should have education. Others should have other jobs, menial jobs. And the Brahmins Kshatriyas, Vaishyas. These are the people who should be at the top of the society. But majority of Indians are not part of these elite classes. They belong to the lower classes. They belong to the minorities. They are Dalits, they are backward caste, they are Adivasis, that kind of people. They shall not get any education. They shall not come into the forefront of the society. This is the ideological basis of the BJP thinking. But the Indian universities are a complete agent for change, because these public universities like Jawaharlal Nehru University, like the Hyderabad University, and so many other universities, now in the forefront of the agitation, they are all built up by the nationalistic ideals. They are built on the idea of democracy in the country, and they are built by leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru, who became the architects of modern India. And the BJP's agitation, BJP's opposition to the kind of student agitation, student unrest in these universities has been in evidence for the last 5-6 years. Ever since Narendra Modi came into power in 2014, the first thing they were trying to do was to destroy the democratic culture, the democratic ethos that was happening, that was prevailing in the Indian public universities. In Jawaharlal Nehru University, they tried to destroy the career of a number of brilliant youngsters like Omar Khalid, a PhD student, Kanhaiya Kumar, the chairman of the University Union, and many others. Actually, false cases were imposed on them. They were charged for sedition. The police said that they had shouted slogans in support of Pakistan, which was a very completely fabricated charge. But the police were doing it at the behest of the government, the ruling forces. Look at what has happened in Hyderabad University. A young Dalit scholar like Rohit Vimila, he had to commit suicide because of the casteist oppression that was happening in that university from people like the Vice Chancellor, who was very close to the government of India, the minister in charge of education at that time. So that kind of agitation in every part of the country. For example, in Pune, in the film institute, there was agitation, public agitation. In various parts of the country, such agitation was going on everywhere. The government of India under Narendra Modi, under Smriti Irani, actually promoted the police action, actually did everything possible to destroy the student agitation, the unrest among the youngsters. Now, we have to ask the question, why the BJP is so much worried about the youngsters? Why they cannot accept the youngsters demanding change? Why are they trying to destroy the Indian public universities? The reason is very simple. Essentially, because they do not want these public universities, which are providing education to the most dispossessed, most backward sections of Indian society. Because these universities are the institutions that have given admissions to people from the various parts of the country, youngsters from various communities in the country, youngsters from backward caste, Dalits, and other social segments who had never had any access to education, who never had that kind of money to go into the Western universities, who never had that kind of money to go into the elite universities. So these universities, public universities like JNU and Hyderabad University, national law schools, all these institutions have been giving access to education to the backward sections of Indian society. They were being empowered, these sections were being empowered. And what happens when a younger generation from the backward class society, minority class society gets empowered? They become an agent for change. They become the agents for the unity of the country, because they, in the campus, they are living together, people from various castes, people from various communities, people from various parts of the country. They live together, they exchange their ideas, they exchange their experiences, they become the real India, the democratic India, the modern India, which the BJP actually detests, hates. And a third point is that when the universities are so vibrant, when the youngsters are living in such a democratic situation, when they are involved in such kind of debates, ideas are sprung up, new ideas are sprung up, changes, the ideas for change, the ideas for democratic practices, the ideas for equality in the society, that kind of ideas are very important, because that makes India a very democratic, vibrant society. Because these youngsters, they are coming from various parts of the country, and they bring back to their home, to their villages, to their towns, these experiences, these ideas, which the BJP is really unable to withstand, because they do not want that kind of a modern democratic society in this country. They do not want such a democratic, modern thinking happening, spreading among the younger people of this country, because they are trying to take India back into the 16th century, into the caste society, into a very bad social practices of caste hierarchies. So, what is very important and what is very significant at this point of history is that there is a mass agitation opposing the recent enforcement, implementation of the new laws, amending the Citizenship Act, and also the government proposal to bring about a nationwide register of citizenship, which will weed out a large number of Indian people out of citizenship. So, the youngsters are agitating, youngsters are in the leadership, and the BJP government, the BJP is using every possible force to stop the youngsters from coming into the streets. They are using excessive force to stop the youngsters shouting slogans for change. But this is a very dangerous game. This is a dangerous game in the sense that you cannot actually stop the younger generation coming into the street, taking a very positive role in their social and political life, because they are part of the future. They are the people who have to inherit the country tomorrow. When their force, their strength, their urge for change is coming into the street, no force, no police, no military, no guns will be able to stop them. This is the basic lesson from history. This is the lesson from every part of the experience from every part of the world. But Narendra Modi, Amit Shah, and that kind of people really don't understand this. But I think they should listen to the lessons of history, because history's experiences are relevant to each and every society. Youngsters are the assets of the country. Trying to destroy them will only bring curse upon a society.